Hi, church family. This is actually now take 3, trying to get this message finished up. We just started and had another technical difficulty, but we think Denise has the hamster back on the wheel. So we apologize for the abruptness of last week's cutoff there. We just want to wish everybody, Denise, Katie, and I want to wish everybody a very happy Sabbath and hope that everybody has weathered the tropical storm safely and soundly, and you're having a blessed Sabbath day. We would like also to wish a very happy Veterans Day out there to all of our veterans in Jennings Lake and our extended Jennings Lake church family and anybody who might be watching today. We want to thank you for your service. Those of you that are retired military veterans, we want to say thank you. And also to those that are serving actively. We think of Private Figueroa and any others that might be in our church family that are actively serving, men and women. We just want to say thank you and God bless you for your service to our country. We certainly appreciate you all. Want to remind everybody that Tuesday nights are prayer meeting, 7 o'clock, Matthew 24. And I want to encourage you to try to tune in. Also, Jennings Lake is open, 11 a.m. for church service only. Lasts about an hour. And we are still practicing the guidelines of the mask wearing and social distancing and hand sanitization and all the safety measures. And so just be aware of that should you plan on coming to visit. And also, Denise is capturing Pastor Carl as well as Pastor Anthony Crawford. Their messages are out on YouTube, and she sends those out via Facebook and YouTube email, so you can also enjoy those. For those of you that may be watching from home or haven't quite ventured back out into church service yet. So however you can tune in, there's a method of different ways, either in person or electronically, and so we just encourage you to use full advantage of that. We also would like to ask you to remember to keep in prayer all of our church family and those that are still recovering from their surgeries. We think of Darlene and Miss Velma as they're recovering. We think of Miss Edwina, who right now we take these on Wednesdays, and so she'll be leaving tomorrow, Thursday, for her little getaway with her daughter to North Carolina. So we want to ask for travel mercies for her and her family, as well as please remember Elena. As our holiday season approaches, keep her and her team in prayer for safety in Zambia. And so last week, if you will recall, we are in John chapters 18 and 19, and we spoke about how Pilate is suddenly awakened from his sleep. It's very early morning. It's not daylight yet. They've come to his house, which is located in the Praetorium, and they have rousted him out of bed, and they've got Jesus now taken prisoner, and they're wanting to try to push this thing quickly through, that Jesus would be convicted and condemned and crucified and get this going. And Pilate's got some questions, and he's going back and forth between the Jewish leaders and Jesus. And so as we left off last week in John chapter 19, Pilate has tried to figure a way out of this, and he's offered to release them, as is the custom during Passover, that they can have a prisoner released. And so he's found a way, he thinks, for him to not lose any power or lose face, and the Jewish leaders to not lose face and have a happier resolve to this. But the Jewish leaders, they want no part of it. So as he goes out and tells them this, they say, no, we want him crucified. So in verse 11, where we stopped last week, Pilate comes back in, and to back up in 10, Pilate says, are you not speaking to me? Do you not know that I have power to crucify you and power to release you? And now here's when Jesus comes back, and he's still, even in this super tense moment, Jesus is still very tender, and he tries to give Pilate as much grace as he can in this situation. And Jesus answered, you could have no power at all against me unless it had been given you from above. Therefore, the one who delivered me to you has the greater sin. So he's saying, yeah, you got a part in this, and you're playing this, and you're guilty. But the people that brought me here, the person that is responsible, they're going to have the greater sin on their hands. I also find in verse 11 that it shows us again that Jesus doesn't have to be here, that he's voluntarily let himself be in this position for the redemption of all humanity. That he is showing to all the other unfallen worlds, all those people that are watching down on us, that what the devil has proposed about God is all a lie, and that Jesus is saying that I am going to come and I'm going to voluntarily lay my life down to save all humanity, those that believe in me and those who will not. And so that's one of the things that I take out of verse 11, that Jesus is telling Pilate that you don't even have any power over me unless I'm going to actually allow this. We go on in verse 12, it says, from then on Pilate sought to release him, but the Jews cried out, saying, if you let this man go, you are not Caesar's friend. Whoever makes himself a king speaks against Caesar. The Jews now realize that they're not going to be able to use the religious angle to convince Pilate into doing this, and so they're going to turn the civil angle on him, saying, if you don't do this, this man has spoken of himself as a king, talking about Jesus, and Caesar is you're only one true king, then you're going to have political ramifications. You're going to have problems civilly if you don't give us what our wishes are. And so now Pilate realizes that he truly is caught in this predicament. And so in verse 13, when Pilate therefore heard that saying, he brought Jesus out and sat down in the judgment seat in a place that is called the Pavement, but in Hebrew, Gabbatha. Now, it was the preparation day of the Passover. So it's Friday, right? It's Friday, the day before the Passover, and about the 6th hour. And he said to the Jews, behold your king. But they cried out, away with him, crucify him. So now Pilate goes back and he says, shall I crucify your king? And now get this next statement by the Jewish leaders. The chief priests answered, we have no king but Caesar. Can you really imagine the full impact of those words? That here this group, so religious, so pious, that they claim to be following God and only God, now they're bringing their allegiance not to God, but to Caesar. And they're saying that we have only one king, Caesar. Then he delivered him to them to be crucified. Then they took Jesus and led him away. My commentary has a good remark about that. It says that as he talks about beholding your king, and they say that they have no king but Caesar, my Bible commentary says a foolish admission of their obligation to serve Caesar rather than a king of their own. Caiaphas had argued that one man should be sacrificed to save the nation, and now he is willing to sacrifice the nation in order to destroy one man. Their goal was to get Jesus out of the way and crucified at any cost. And now through Pilate, the Jewish leaders have now said that they only serve Caesar. As I think about the book of John, one of the things that grasps me is that John's book of the four Gospels, John's book is that transition for those that walked with Jesus, those that were here physically with him, and to the second generation, us, of those that are walking without the physical benefit of being in Jesus' presence. And how John is that bridge to remind us that we don't have to be in Jesus' physical presence as they were in John's time to still have that relationship, that benefit of being with Jesus, being one of Jesus' followers. In finishing up my little Sabbath school book this week, something that I read about John says that one of the major themes of the Old Testament has to do with remembering and forgetting. Whenever the Israelites forgot the mighty things God had done for them, they lost the sense of his power and presence. Can any of you relate to that? I know I certainly can, that sometimes when problems are coming on to me and I'm worried about something, instead of stopping and reciting and reclaiming what God has done for those in the Bible, but what God has done for me in my own life, to strengthen and remember myself and take the focus off of my fear and put it on God's past triumphs to bolster myself, I know that I'm very guilty of that. A major theme, remembering and forgetting. When they remembered what he had done for them in the past, the power of the original action was reactivated in their lives. In fact, the very essence of Old Testament spiritual life was recounting the mighty acts of God in their past history. That's what I seek for myself from this reading of John 18 and 19, that I want this reactivation in my life, that I want to make sure that I am focusing on what Jesus has done for me, for you, for all of us, that he voluntarily came and he did what was not easy, but he did what was right. And the story, I hope, will remind me that when I'm faced with challenges, that I won't look for the easy way out, but that I look for the right way out and let God guide me and lead me into that right way. I hope that you will spend some time finishing up John 18 and 19. And if you want to go online, all of our Sabbath School quarterlies, going back for years and years, have been archived. You can do a very quick search and you can pull up wonderful, wonderful quarters of great lessons. And this book, John, the Gospel of John, is out there also. So just want to recap that Pilate, put in a tough position, could have done what was right, but he chose to do what was political for him, what was right politically for him. And so we hope that this story will encourage you that as these times of trial come upon us, that we will look at Jesus as our example and strive to let the Holy Spirit guide us. Denise and I and Katie hope that you guys will have a great and blessed Sabbath, and that the upcoming week before Thanksgiving, will be a blessed week for everybody. We love you. Hope you have a safe day. Take care. Bye.